Let me tell you something that'll shift your thinking today. The greatest battles you will ever fight won't be with your boss, your family, your friends, or your competitors. No, the greatest battle you'll ever face is the one between the person you are right now and the person you were designed to become. Success doesn't start on the outside, it starts deep within you. It starts in a place nobody else can see, and truth be told, sometimes you can't even see it yourself at first. Before the bank account gets bigger, before the business scales, before the audience grows, before the world starts clapping for you, the work begins in the most important arena you will ever compete in. Your mind, your thinking, your beliefs, your focus. That's where the transformation happens long before the results show up. You see, so many people are out here trying to change the world, trying to prove their worth to everyone around them, chasing recognition, chasing validation, chasing the appearance of success, but they haven't done the inner work yet. And the truth is, if the inside isn't ready, the outside can't hold it. Because external success without internal stability is a recipe for collapse. That's why you've got to start by mastering self-focus. You've got to lock in on who you're becoming, not just what you're doing. I've learned over the years that everything you want in life is on the other side of who you are willing to become. The house, the car, the freedom, the influence, the impact. All of that is fruit, but the root is you. And if the root system isn't strong enough, if your mindset isn't stable enough, if your discipline isn't locked in, the fruit won't last even if you get it. That's why success isn't about chasing the things you want. It's about growing into the person who naturally attracts and handles those things with wisdom, strength, and grace. I remember a time when I was focused on everything except myself. I thought if I networked with the right people, if I got the right opportunities, if I landed the right deals, then success would follow. But what I learned is doors don't stay open for a person who isn't ready to walk through them. I had to turn the focus inward. I had to become a student of my own growth. I had to invest in learning. I had to practice self-discipline. I had to upgrade the way I thought about myself, about money, about life. And the moment I shifted my focus inward, the outward circumstances started shifting too. Because success isn't magic. Success is alignment. When your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your habits start working together, success becomes inevitable. The hard part is most people want the rewards without the responsibility. But the work starts with you. And the moment you understand that, the game changes. When you master the art of focusing on yourself, of building from the inside out, you develop the kind of strength, stability, and sharpness that nothing and no one can take away from you. And here's the beautiful part. When you do that, when you focus on yourself long enough, the results become so undeniable that the world won't need your explanations. They'll see it. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you show up to every room, it will speak volumes. Because when the inside changes, the outside always follows. Growth is one of the most personal and powerful journeys you will ever embark on. The truth is your real competition is not the person sitting next to you. It's not the person getting more applause on social media. And it's not the person landing the big contracts or driving the fancy car. Your greatest competition is the person you were yesterday. And the sooner you lock into that understanding, the sooner your life will begin to shift. See, the world conditions us to compare. From the time we're kids, we're taught to measure ourselves against someone else. Grades, sports, jobs, money, relationships. And that comparison trap is one of the biggest thieves of both joy and progress, because as long as you're looking sideways, you're missing the chance to look forward. Growth is a personal process. It's not a race. It's not about being better than them. It's about being better than who you used to be. When I started focusing on my own growth, I stopped being intimidated by other people's success and started being inspired by it. I stopped asking why them and started asking why not me. That shift alone will change your entire trajectory, because now you're no longer trying to outrun someone else, you're trying to outgrow yourself. That's when you realize the power isn't in the competition, it's in the commitment. The commitment to develop your mindset, your habits, your character, your skill set, and your vision. Every day is an opportunity to become a stronger, wiser, sharper version of yourself. The person you were yesterday had a certain level of thinking, a certain level of knowledge, a certain level of faith, but today you can choose to expand that. You can choose to level up. And here's the beautiful part. When you outgrow your old self, the life you desire starts chasing you. You won't need to force things because you'll naturally attract opportunities and success that match the level you've grown into. There is no shortcut for personal growth. There's no cheat code, no secret door. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, when it's easy, when it's hard, when nobody's watching, and when nobody's clapping. It's about understanding that the distance between where you are and where you want to be is only measured by your willingness to grow. And the moment you make that decision, the moment you stop competing with the world and start competing with the old version of you, is the moment everything begins to change. Because success doesn't come to the person who wants it most. It comes to the person who's grown enough to handle it. Remandance will always speak louder than words, and the most powerful statement you will ever make is not something you say, it's something you do. In fact, the moment you understand that your results can silence more critics than your explanations ever could, you'll stop wasting time trying to convince people and start investing that energy in building the life that speaks for itself. There was a time in my life when I thought if I could just explain my plans clearly enough, if I could just defend my dreams passionately enough, people would finally believe in me. I thought if I talked the right talk, I could earn their respect. But life taught me a very different lesson. People don't believe what you say, they believe what you show. They believe what you prove over and over again through consistent action. When you focus on doing the work instead of making announcements, something amazing happens. You start to rise in silence. You start to evolve in private. You start building a life brick by brick, day by day, while everyone else is still waiting for you to prove them wrong. And one day you'll step into a room and the people who once doubted you won't have anything left to say because the evidence will be standing right in front of them. There's nothing more satisfying than letting your growth make the noise. Your new habits, your new mindset, your new level of discipline, those things will radiate from you long before your success ever shows up on the surface. The way you carry yourself will shift. The way you handle conversations will change. The way you approach opportunities will evolve. And all of that will happen before the world sees your results. Because true change starts on the inside and manifests outward. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to beg people to support you. You don't have to ask for validation. The people who doubted you, who dismissed you, who whispered about you behind closed doors, they will watch as the results unfold. And the beauty is you won't have to utter a single word. Your discipline will speak. Your progress will speak. Your success will speak. And your transformation will do all the talking. When you commit to action over empty conversation, you shock people in the most powerful way possible with undeniable, unshakable proof that you've become everything they once believed you couldn't be. That's how you lead without speaking, and that's how you inspire without trying. Discipline and self-investment are the real game changers in any success story, and the sooner you embrace that truth, the sooner your entire life will start shifting in ways you never imagined. See, a lot of people want success. A lot of people talk about goals. They dream, they wish, they hope. But the difference between those who only talk and those who actually rise is discipline. It's the ability to do what needs to be done long after the excitement has worn off, long after the world stops watching. Discipline is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. And no one can build that bridge for you. It's you versus your excuses every single day. It's you choosing growth over comfort, focus over distraction, action over hesitation. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they're not talented. Most people don't fail because they're not smart. They fail because they don't stay disciplined long enough to see the harvest of their efforts. I had to learn this for myself the hard way. I used to think if I could just get the right break, if I could just meet the right person, if the timing was perfect, success would just fall into place. But life doesn't work like that. Success doesn't respond to luck. Success responds to preparation. It responds to consistency. It responds to the one who shows up, rain or shine, day after day, whether it's convenient or not. And that's where self-investment comes in. You have to be willing to put something in before you can expect anything out. Whether it's investing your time, your money, your energy, your focus. You've got to sow before you can reap. You've got to sharpen your mind before you can master your craft. You've got to strengthen your character before you can handle greater responsibility. You've got to grow your mindset before you can expand your income. You've got to build your foundation before you can build your empire. Nobody else can do that work for you. You've got to train your mind. You've got to develop new skills. You've got to put yourself in environments that challenge you, stretch you, and force you to become the person capable of sustaining the success you say you want. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Self-investment isn't about doing it once. It's about making it a lifestyle. And when you truly commit to both, success stops being an accident and starts being the natural result of who you've become. When you put in the work, the world can't help but notice. When you invest in yourself, the returns will eventually speak so loudly, you won't even have to. That's when you realize the real game changer was never outside of you, it was always within your control, waiting for you to activate it. Discipline and self-investment are the real game changers in any success story, and the sooner you embrace that truth, the sooner your entire life will start shifting in ways you never imagined. See, a lot of people want success, a lot of people talk about goals, they dream, they wish, they hope, but the difference between those who only talk and those who actually rise is discipline. It's the ability to do what needs to be done long after the excitement has worn off, long after the applause stops, long after the world stops watching. Discipline is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want, and no one can build that bridge for you. It's you versus your excuses every single day. It's you choosing growth over comfort, focus over distraction, action over hesitation. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they're not talented. Most people don't fail because they're not smart. They fail because they don't stay disciplined long enough to see the harvest of their efforts. I had to learn this for myself the hard way. I used to think, if I could just get the right break, if I could just meet the right person, if the timing was perfect, success would just fall into place. But life doesn't work like that. Success doesn't respond to luck. Success responds to preparation. It responds to consistency. It responds to the one who shows up, rain or shine, day after day, whether it's convenient or not. And that's where self-investment comes in. You have to be willing to put something in before you can expect anything out, whether it's investing your time, your money, your energy, your focus. You've got to sow before you can reap. You've got to sharpen your mind before you can master your craft. You've got to strengthen your character before you can handle greater responsibility. You've got to grow your mindset before you can expand your income. You've got to build your foundation before you can build your empire. Nobody else can do that work for you. You've got to train your mind. You've got to develop new skills. You've got to put yourself in environments that challenge you, stretch you, and force you to become the person capable of sustaining the success you say you want. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Self-investment isn't about doing it once, it's about making it a lifestyle. And when you truly commit to both, success stops being an accident and starts being the natural result of who you've become. When you put in the work, the world can't help but notice. When you invest in yourself, the returns will eventually speak so loudly you won't even have to. That's when you realize the real game changer was never outside of you. It was always within your control, waiting for you to activate it. When you stop waiting for permission and start walking in purpose, everything changes. Most people spend their whole lives waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for the right timing, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for somebody to clap for them before they even take the first step. But the truth is, the world isn't designed to hand you permission slips for greatness. You've got to decide deep down that you are worthy of success, you are capable of growth, and you are more than enough to start the journey, whether anyone else sees it yet or not. I remember the moment I realized I'd been living on hold, waiting for someone to tap me on the shoulder and say, now's your time, but that moment never came. The opportunities I wanted weren't going to show up until I was bold enough to move, to grow, and to create them. Permission wasn't something I was going to receive, it was something I had to give myself. That's what so many people miss. The power to begin, the power to rise, the power to succeed was in their hands the whole time. The moment you stop looking outward and start focusing inward, you'll see it clearly. The moment you shift from asking, can I, to declaring, I will, the game changes. Because success isn't reserved for the chosen few, it's claimed by the focused, the disciplined, the bold, the ones who decide that waiting is over. When you decide that, you start showing up differently. Your energy shifts, your focus sharpens, your actions align, and your results begin to speak for themselves. And once you cross that threshold, you'll understand that you never needed everyone to believe in you. You just needed to believe in yourself enough to get started. You won't have to force people to respect your journey because your consistency and your growth will make them respect it. You won't have to convince anyone to see your vision because your transformation will make it undeniable. When you take ownership of your growth, when you stop waiting for applause and start building in silence, the world will catch up. You don't need a cheer squad to begin. You don't need perfect circumstances to begin. All you need is the courage to start. And once you start and you stay consistent, the same people who once doubted you will watch in awe as you become everything they never thought you could be. Not because you argued, not because you explained, but because you moved. And you didn't wait for permission. When you become so locked in on your own growth, your own mission, your own journey, you stop needing the world's approval and you start moving in a way that commands respect without ever asking for it. That's the kind of quiet power that can't be faked, it can't be borrowed, and it definitely can't be given to you. It has to be built from the inside out. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, the world will either adjust to the new you or it will fade away. Either way, you win. I've learned that real growth, the kind that creates undeniable results, happens in silence. It's the late nights when nobody sees you studying. It's the early mornings when nobody's clapping for your discipline. It's the sacrifices you make when no one's watching. Growth happens behind closed doors, in the quiet moments where you choose purpose over comfort, progress over distraction, and commitment over convenience. And when that inner shift happens, the outside world starts to respond. People will start noticing something different about you. They won't always be able to put their finger on it at first, but they'll feel it. It'll show in your posture. It'll show in the way you speak. It'll show in the way you handle adversity. It'll show in the way you enter a room. You won't have to tell anyone you've grown. Your life will do all the talking for you. And here's the thing, when your focus is on becoming rather than proving, success becomes inevitable. You stop worrying about who's watching. You stop caring about who's clapping. You stop looking for validation and you start walking in your purpose. And that's when the world has no choice but to take notice. Because a person who's truly focused doesn't need attention, they attract it. When you're so locked in on the mission, the distractions lose their power. The opinions of others fade into the background. The doubts and fears shrink in the shadow of your determination. And one day you wake up and realize you didn't have to shock the world with your words. You shocked them with your transformation. The way you carried yourself, the work you put in, the quiet, steady, relentless commitment, that became the loudest statement you could ever make. And by the time the world finally notices, you'll be so deep into your purpose that you won't even need their recognition anymore because you'll know the real reward was never the applause. The real reward was who you became in the process.